Well, good evening, everyone. The USA Truck Series is getting down to crunch time here for the regular season coming to a close pretty quickly here. And this East Coast has been rather dominated by the guy starting outside front row here, Tim Kourting in the 50 truck. And we all know that he's got a knack for short track racing as well. So we'll see if tonight, if he can make it to 5 races on the season. Trends are pointing his direction as he has won basically every other race in the past 3 or so. It's been him, someone else. So tonight it should likely be him. But Atlee Weiss steals the pole away from him. That's going to be huge once we do start dishing out the points for the chase, as pole positions do count as bonus points in the chase. Starting behind them, we've got Jordan Walker and last week's winner, Ant Meeperson, who won a rain-shortened ROVAL. Then you've got Andrew Moger, who's in a must-win situation alongside the 44 of Ryan Little, also in a must-win territory. The 18 of Chadwick in a must-win. Gavin Gray, and quite honestly, most of these guys, if they haven't won yet, are going to need a win. Andre Stefan, your points leader with 1 win on the season, continuing to rack up top 10s, alongside the 55 of Dalton Hayes. Then here we have the 87 of Cam Jordan with Jack Davis. Zach Armstrong, who's been surprisingly quiet, but consistently good, alongside Colton Smith. Then you have GP Luxembourg and Scott Speed, John Brinker and Bradley Ream, Jack Ross, who has been struggling to beat his brother from Russia. Jakov Rosovich has been doing a lot better than his team owner, so see how that goes tonight. Alongside Cannon Gage, a decent start for him as he seems to struggle with that truck. Then you've got Jessica Hergeson and Jeffrey Gerald, Trevor Vaden and Gannon Bird, Kyle Ottawa and David Bird, Asiel Escobar and Logan Nagy, Chris Hergeson and Nate Gonzalez, Taden Berggren and Chris Mousy, Craig Bush and James Reddick, Leighton Aviard and Maggie Reams, Jamie Horseman and Jakov Rosovich, Santi Messi and AJ Kosnoff, Tasha Wright and James Robert rounding out your field here today. 200 laps under the lights here at Bristol.
Gentlemen, start your engine!
Due in part to NR 2003's troubles at short tracks, we have the standard 2003 rules package in place, meaning no double file restarts, no green-white checkered finishes. It's just going to be the standard game mechanics. And off the early lead here, it's Tim Kourting. Honestly, restarts on short tracks are almost useless because you'll have so many people go a lap down due to the leader just going out there and putting everyone a lap down. But like I mentioned during the grid, Tim Kourting, trends are pretty much pointing to him winning tonight because he's won every other, or it's been every other back to back between one driver winning the others. So trends are pointing in his direction tonight. Howdy, James. So to explain it better, he has won races 6 and 8, and we're on race 10 tonight. So yeah, if that's a trend, I don't know what is. Ant Me Person trying to show that his win on the range shortened ROVAL last week is no fluke, as he's up to a second place running position at the moment and slowly closing the gap up to the lead there, it looks like. Atley back there in third, holding serve, and then Jordan Walker, who's been a tough pill to swallow every week. Oh, and we've got a caution already here early on in this one. Oh, the 00 of Jack Ross. He was mid-pack running 21st. Let's see what happens here. Oh, the 2 of Trevor Vaden kissed the wall there. End up collecting Jack Ross. No one else gets into it there. Keep our eye on Trevor Vaden to see if he manages to keep it from getting back into oncoming traffic here. Oh, he collects a couple more drivers. 16 of Jeffrey Gerald definitely did not see that coming. But for the most part, I think very minimal damage to that 16 truck. It'd be nice to have double file restarts, but with the game, I do not trust the mechanics for better cautions here on short tracks. So, it's race 10 of 11 for the regular season here tonight. And next week, we will be crowning the regular season. Actually, scratch that. Next week, I'll be at the Vegas race, the NASCAR Cup race. So there won't be any truck races next week. But hopscotch another week later, and then we'll be crowning champions here in the USA Truck Series. The amazing part, I mean the craziest thing here in the East Coast, is the fact that Tim Kourting has won 4 out of the first 9 races, and he is not leading the points. The points leader, you look back a little bit further at the top of your screen there, the Ally black and pink truck of Andre Stefan holds the points lead courtesy of his consistent top 10 finishes. In 9 races started, he's got 9 top 10s this season, which is a tough feat to pull off. So it's no wonder that Tim Kourting isn't leading the points when you've got someone that's been that consistent so far throughout the season. And even so, still running top 10 here in Bristol, but eventually the top 10s are not going to pay off. You're going to have to start winning in order to win the championship. These wins that Tim Kourting have racked up will definitely give him a larger cushion when the playoff points get doled out. And he might likely, well, most likely will be seated higher than Andre Stefan, your regular season potential champion. I know there's a lot of naysayers that would probably complain a season like this has been kind of drab and unentertaining, but the way I look at it, we are witnessing a very historic run from a very dominant force here. And what could likely be, you know, if he puts together a championship, he might be locked up into the next, you know, rung of the system so that he can't be, you know, bushwhacking down here anymore. You think about it, there's a lot of drivers out there right now that would love to get a win and lock their way in. And Tim Kourting has just kind of denied most of the drivers from even being able to pull that off. Chadwick going low. Oh, the 87, it looked like lights stay green. We'll have to go back and see exactly what transpired there. Yeah, they stay green, so apparently truck stays going forward, but wild ride for the 87 of Cam Jordan here. Kisses the inside wall. Didn't rejoin the track until he gets back around to the backside, or I guess the front side of the track there. Aunt Me Person giving a good run here for the lead as Tim Kourting continues to lead, but with a strong attack from the 13 truck that he's going to have to defend here. And there we go, another caution. It's going to be that kind of a race tonight here at Bristol. Sometimes it's a wreck fest, and sometimes a lot of cars go through the cheese grater. This one doesn't look like it's just roughing up the cars. This looks like we're going to be totaling a lot of cars tonight. Ooh, be careful there, Tim. Tim Kourting still racing back to the start-finish line here. Puts a couple more a lap down, it looks like. Ooh, Jakov Rosevich sustained some massive damage there. Who was already running towards the back of the field, it looked like. He collects pretty significant damage from the spinning trucks here. That looked almost like a netcode kind of crash, because I don't see where. Oh, okay, it was kind of a glancing side blow, or at first if you're looking elsewhere it doesn't even look like he made contact, but he definitely makes pretty hard contact there. It's an optical illusion from that TV angle. I have not seen a side glancing blow deal that much damage. And so that's going to have some implications for our championship. You know, those that were potentially in the fight for the chase. Jakov was within the top 10 in points, and now looks like it's going to be a retirement for that number 0 truck. That could shake up. Oh, he's going to keep running with repairs being made to that truck, so we'll see. Obviously at Bristol, the damage may not be as significant as it looks. The body damage may look worse than it actually is. He's going to be making repeated trips down pit lane to try and get that truck right, though. So Leighton Avyard is lap down. That leaves us with 36 trucks on the lead lap. So yeah, Jakov Rostovich 8th in the points currently. With the damage sustained here tonight, he could lose as many points to fall back outside of the top 10. Not to mention if we had a surprise winner today here, that would further complicate things for Rostovich. Our other contenders that have had some slight troubles would have been the 16 of Jeffrey Gerald. And so far that looks to be mostly it. Jack Ross stands to gain some ground from the struggles of his teammate, but he too is trapped a lap down in 38. So it's going to be a long day for some bubble contenders here tonight. High Banks of Bristol. Got to give credit to Ant Me Person not letting Tim Kourting get away here. Me Person knows that in order to have some good standing in the chase, he needs to rack up a couple more wins before the chase starts. His one win last week was his first win of the season. If he were able to win out, he could rack up a total of 3 wins and get ever so closer to the 4 wins that Tim Kourting had sustained throughout the season. Fastest lap does belong to Ant Me Person, so he has got the faster truck here in the current situation as they run. Kind of hoping to see some long green flag run here to see whether or not lap traffic will factor in. But every time we start to get a decent length run going, we get a caution yet again. No trucks, all but one. Actually, one truck is retired. Oh, and we have someone else that has been spun around. 28 of Jammy Horseman, who had got his first career top 5 last week and his second career start. Not looking to be as fortunate here tonight as miscalculates the turn there, colliding with the 59 of Gannon Bird. So just another restart for the books here tonight. And we're back to green here. This time, Ant Me Person really keeping that gap slim behind number 50. Ooh, and the 42, Leighton Aviard almost gets into the side of the 50 there. Okay, so I figured it out. I got my tablet open separate of my phone, which I think I'll just close out of my phone altogether. Because for whatever reason now my buffering rate is hogwash. That, I think we should be good though. So now I can play around with stuff like that. Make it a little bit more... Obviously that question was very simplistic. Yeah, it's very laggy right now. I think it has to do with the fact that I had my phone and my tablet both streaming at the same time off my internet. And so with it both streaming, now that has been disabled and it's only streaming on my tablet. So we should be good now. The battle at the front still waging on here as Tim Kourting holding off the 13 of Ant Me Person. Lap traffic becoming a factor here as we've actually got a good lengthy green flag run going. Amazingly enough, it looks like the lap traffic's allowed Atlee to catch up, and Andre Stefan has worked his way up to 4th here. And all hell breaks loose there. As you could see, they wrecked right in front of the leaders. Tim Kourting makes it through unscathed, but I don't know if the same can be said for his competitors that were fighting for the lead there. So the 28, Jamie Horseman, involved in a second wreck here this evening. He gets high, bumps off the top of the wall here. This throws him back out in oncoming traffic, and then it's a literal roadblock at that point where very few people... Oh, Andre Stefan gets into it pretty hard there. This is going to shake things up now as Chadwick is going to gain a few spots due to the misfortune of the others. Andre Stefan and his top 10 streak in jeopardy here as he might possibly sustain damage that would slow his pace up here tonight. See a different angle here. Got to give Tim Kourting credit for reading the track in front of him. As he goes low, he's able to stay clear of any contact with that spinning truck of Jammy Horseman. 13 of Ant Me Person, he doesn't have near as much time to react. He does a pretty good job at avoiding damage there. But I think the ones that are going to have the worst end of it looks to be Atlee Weiss and Andre Stefan. The 11 of Craig Bush there as well was lapped down. But his day looks like it could be over in the 11 Pepsi truck. Not very often that you see that kind of chaos happen right in front of the leaders. But now, Chadwick up into the top 5 and a damaged number 19 right there in front of him. This could help the 18 truck significantly. We'll see how long Atlee spends on pit road getting repairs made to that truck. They might as well just tear off the hood and run around like a Wheelin' Modified here tonight. Yep, there you go. 19 takes the hood off. Keeps going. It doesn't look like he's going to fall too far out of the running order. Andre Stefan as well did the same thing. Looks like they lose about 8 spots apiece. So Andre Stefan falls back to 17th. Atlee Weiss 19th. And we'll be getting ready for the restart here again. Shout out to Osiel Escobar for getting into the top 10 here. Zach Armstrong's going to continue for his push into the chase. Top 10s are going to keep that drive alive for the number 4 team. Bradley Ream doing all right there. Now we've got quite the different field at the front as you've got John Brinker up to 2nd, Chaz Chadwick in 3rd, and it's anyone's guess as to how this is going to play out. And with all the chaos that we've seen tonight, we're only 59 of 200 laps down. So there's still a lot of racing to go here. Chadwick closing the gap here on Brinker for 2nd. It should probably play out here where Chadwick will get up to 2nd. Have another long green flag run. He's going to need it to help catch up to Tim Kourting, though. As you can see, Kourting kind of blowing away from 2nd and 3rd there. Tim's big rival on the night was definitely Ant Me Person, but Ant Me Person's gonna have to come a little bit further out of the field to get back into it, running 13th at the moment. They must have did a little bit of repairs on that truck to get him back out there. Even so, Atlee Weiss, with severe damages he has, already ahead of the somewhat cleaner looking Ant Me Person. Jeffrey Gerald in 11th. And there you go, Osiel Escobar holding on to a top 10 here on lap 64. Cam Jordan was involved in a few wrecks and still staying alive here, running in the top 10. Seems that Brinker has kind of dragged the rest of the field up to him. His pace not on par with the quicker trucks. Chadwick is just about in a must-win situation for the rest of the season here if he wants to make the chase. He is taking too many big hits. Oh, the 78 took a big hit there and keeps on rolling. You could see in the background that he got a little bit loose and slammed into the wall. Everyone makes it around him pretty quickly there, and we stay green. Oh, and then we got another spinner, the 5 of Santi Messi. They don't throw the caution for this one. Evidently our flagman's getting a little bit wore out on the cautions, so we stay green even though the truck spins out there. Oh, Cam Jordan having to make an unscheduled pit stop from the top 5. Chadwick in second. Tim Kourting working his way through lap traffic. I don't know if Tim Kourting's in such a sweet spot there though, because the chaos happens once you get into the lap traffic. So not always a guaranteed safe place to be. There's actually really no safe place to be at Bristol with the size of the track, and there's always action going on. And the 8 of Cannon Gage getting into the wall there. And a caution rolling. Man, it's hard to keep up with all the pandemonium on track here. Was this the caution? Yeah, it seems to be that was the call for the caution. We had a truck completely sideways and they didn't wave a caution. And then we have a truck that just stalls on the track for him to finally give us a caution there. Seems kind of absurd, but they were just asking for another caution. You could tell they were driving like crazy out there. Well, now that I know how to do it, I can do random trivia questions and stuff during the broadcasts and give out possible awards in the result of upgrades to your truck or something. That'd be kind of cool. So here we have an opportunity for Chadwick to get a restart from second. We'll see the pace of the 18 truck and whether or not it can keep up with the 50 of Tim Kourting. We're still not even halfway through this one tonight. 5 cautions throughout the race, and it's looking like we're on par for at least 10 or 11 cautions to the finish here. Chadwick actually making it look interesting here. Slowly creeping up on the 50 team. Also the 40 of Bradley Ream. Now we got another caution. Might have to start black flagging repetitive collisions for drivers. This one looks like it might be the 5 of Santi Messi causing the wreck there. Yeah, this 5 truck 3 laps down in 36th. He is going to receive the disqualification. That way we don't mess with the actual finishing results. We'll disqualify the 83 as well. That'll leave us with 35 trucks left running. 56 of Andre Stefan, currently 22nd. So like mentioned before, that top 10 streak of his in jeopardy. Some stoppers for pit road as he got the 55 and the 4 of Zach Armstrong on pit road. They leave their position out of the top 10 to make their stops. Okay, we're getting ready for the restart here on lap 85. Been kind of chaotic to say the least, but hopefully we can get some good racing going here. 23 trucks on the lead lap, and those that are a lap down ranging all the way back to 35th. as we only have 35 trucks left running. Here we go. Chadwick making a bold maneuver there, trying to get around the lap traffic there. The 34 of Maggie Reams. Been a very unusual year for her. She has been in victory lane numerous times, and this year just seems like it's not ticking for the team. So 34 struggling for sure, whereas they used to have a winning truck. Bradley Ream now moves up to second, getting by Chaz Chadwick. Caution rolls yet again here. Ooh, and it's a big one. The 10 of Logan Nagy, fortunately, gets tangled up in the product of a mess that happened in front of them. So the 87 of Cam Jordan goes 3 wide, gets spun out here. Collects Jack Ross, Logan Nagy, David Bird, Atlee Weiss, ooh, Zach Armstrong as well. Here's the funny part. I actually adjusted the aggression down, knowing that this could have been a factor at a short track, and I'm getting the opposite results as I anticipated by bumping the aggression down to 75%, whereas I usually have them at 101% in most races run. This seems to actually have made things a little bit worse for the most part. Tim Kourting makes his trip down pit lane here, what might be his one and only pit stop of the race. Cautions have kind of extended this fuel mileage number in an unusual direction. So teams are now having to decide on whether to pit or hold track position. And it seems like they had to pit this time around, giving up track position. Andre Stefan, Atlee Weiss both still running. This is going to give the lead over to Bradley Ream, Chaz Chadwick, and perhaps Ryan Little. Yeah, Ryan Little going to move himself up to third here with all the drivers that pitted. That puts Osiel Escobar up to fourth. Great run for Osiel Escobar. John Brinker, Trevor Vaden, Dalton Hayes, Colton Smith, Jordan Walker, and Jeffrey Gerald rounding out your top 10. So we're going to get restarted here on lap 93. It has been a wreck fest here tonight at Bristol. We're not even halfway through. So with all the wrecking and chaos that we've seen so far, we've got a couple more drivers retired out of the mix. The 42 of Leighton Avyard, the 96 of David Bird, the 87 of Cam Jordan, the 39 of Logan Nagy, and the 92 of Kyle Ottawa. That means we only have 30 trucks left running, 20 of them on the lead lap. Some of these folks might have to pit before it's all said and done, so I don't know what the running order is going to look like once that starts to play into the factor here. Bradley Ream had come off to a stellar start in 2023 for the Winter Championship, winning at Fontana right at the beginning of the year this year. He went on to win at least one more race after that and hadn't seen much of victory lane since then. So with only 2 wins to his name, he won those 2 pretty quickly in his career. And caution strikes yet again here. And that I don't know if is just frustrations or anger. No, there's not much frustration or anger there. It looks like they get bunched up for caution in front of them. But why do we get a caution? Oh, okay, the 00 of Jakov Rosovic bumps into the 44, bringing out the caution and woeing up the traffic there. Oh, now we've got the 40 of Bradley Ream coming down pit road here, halfway through the race. This will probably... Now, Escobar making his pit stop. It really is going to factor into gas mileage here now that we've had so many cautions. Tim Kourting went from leading the race to pitting last lap, last caution, not this caution, and has worked his way back up to 13th. Oh, the 78 of John Brinker is engine damage out of nowhere, running in 8th. Perhaps maybe hit some debris out there on track with all the wrecked cars that we've seen out there. It looks like his day might be done, so that'll be one less truck to deal with in the pandemonium here tonight. Chadwick inherits the lead here at halfway on lap 100. Crazy part is drivers that are pit stopping now are only going to lose about 15 spots because it's only 20 trucks on the lead lap here. If they can stay on the lead lap, which they should during caution like this under yellow, making a pit stop. So the 65 Basiel Escobar will stay on the lead lap, and it looks like he drops back from about 6th to 18th. John Brinker suffers a camshaft failure and will retire this evening, leaving us with 29 trucks left running and 19 trucks on the lead lap. Chadwick finds himself in a rare position that he has not been in much of this year, leading at the front of the field. They're going to get the 1 to go here as they shuffle out lap traffic on the bottom. Green flag waves on lap 101. And you gotta imagine after all the wrecks that we've seen that hopefully we can get going here without too much more chaos. Bradley Ream made his pit stop and is now shuffled back in the crazy land here. Gets thrown back with the Goonies. Oh, and they are wrecking right there in front of them. They have managed to stay green, but Ant Me Person now struggling with the collisions made there. Chadwick will eventually catch up to the back track here, and Me Person is the first truck in risk of going a lap down on the lead lap. Oh, that was a hard hit for James Robert there as he plowed into the wall. He was trying to take the Michael Waltrip line and disintegrate like the Kool-Aid car. Still continuing to run though. It's amazing after a hard hit like that the truck still wants to run. You would imagine they come down pit road after a hit like that. Atlee Weiss has worked his way back up into the top 10 here. Impressive run for James Reddick up to 6th. Tim Kourting back up to 4th. Gavin Gray in 3rd. And then even further ahead of all them, you've got the 55 of Dalton Hayes running 2nd. That's kind of a surprise. Especially the fact that we've got Chadwick in 1st and Dalton Hayes in 2nd. Chadwick would be the biggest upset win here tonight because I don't think anyone anticipated a wild card win to come here after the start we saw from Tim Kourting. Obviously still 90 laps to go, a lot to run. You gotta almost wonder too if Chadwick is gonna get bit by the fuel mileage bug in this one. He is, I'm pretty sure, not pitted in this race. He may have pitted during one of the first couple first cautions, but I guess we'll have to just keep our eyes peeled and see what happens. Tim Kourting, though, wants to make this a show as he's already charged up to 3rd, and we'll kind of keep an eye on the deficit from 1st to 3rd. He closes it by a 1/4 of a second there, so now down to 6.8. Gannon Bird's going to go a 5th lap down here, so unfortunately his night is going to be done as we will DQ the number 59. Oh, and we got another caution. This will give Osiel Escobar a chance to get caught back up on the lead lap as he was right about to go a lap down. Figure out what the caution was for. Oh, the 82 of AJ Kosnoff gets spun out. And that was just a... I think we've seen that 82 truck do that twice here tonight. They're going to send him packing tonight after continually causing cautions here. And damn near trying to wreck into the other people there, so he's going to have a chat with officials in the hauler after this one, I'm sure. Chadwick rolling the dice, staying out, not making a pit stop. This could be either a very, very hard decision to make, or they know for a fact that this truck's going to have enough fuel to make it, even with the repetitive cautions that we're seeing here. The only problem now is a little bit further back in the picture. The 50 of Tim Kourting, only a few spots back. There's going to be the 55, which is a teammate to Tim Kourting, as the only truck separating him from the 18 of Chadwick. With the disqualifications now, that'll leave us with 27 trucks left running. We've only got 18 trucks on the lead lap. And crazy enough as it is, the 56 has made it back up into the top 10. So Andre Stefan still looking to keep that top 10 in what could be one of the most wild fashions possible, sustaining significant damage on that truck, getting it fixed, and staying alive. I do apologize as my internet has been kind of flaky last couple nights. Streaming seems to be at about 90% for the most part. You get 1 to the green flag now. And Chadwick, we all know how hardy he will party if he could get it done here tonight. And we get the restart going here. Chadwick's going to have his hands full with hard charging Tim Kourting most likely. Kourting making it 3 wide on the inside, taking it down the center, but thinks better of it. Does not want to get in the middle of 3 wide with Jack Ross on the bottom. That's an appetite for destruction. Recipe for disaster. Now, this will be where the true... and there we go with another caution here. We're just going to have to start disqualifying half the field at this point. I feel bad for Jessica Hergeson, but we are going to disqualify her for bringing out yet another caution here tonight. We need to get some green flag laps going here with all this. Man, this might be what Chadwick wants. Chadwick sitting at the front of the field right now is like, they can just keep wrecking behind me and I'll hold the lead. From my perspective, though, I don't know if that would be the greatest scenario, since fuel might still be a concern for that 18 team. Chadwick had said that if he can't win a race, he's going to continue to run the Beluga paint scheme here. The Bellu truck, for a better description. And if possible, he would keep running it all season long without a win. And now it would raise the question, what would he do when he wins, if he wins? Is it going to kind of mean he's going to change paint schemes? And there's a lot of sponsors that he has to thank for getting him to this point in, the NASCAR world of racing. That he's even got his teammate Ewan Whatarmy fighting for a championship against Atlee Weiss in the Sylvania Cup. So there's going to be a championship going down to the line there with our Cup Series. The truck's just getting heated up here as the chase starts within a couple weeks. And the one missing piece is Chadwick in all different scenarios that we've seen playing out this season. Chadwick has been our final 3 contender for both final 3 contending championship rounds. 2022 he came up short, finished 3rd. 2023 he came up short, finished 3rd. So he's been the 3rd best truck of our final 3 contenders for both years that they have contested it. And he has also won the regular season championship each year so far. This will be the first regular season championship that is not Chaz Chadwick's. He could still win to get into the chase, but there's no way he can get enough points to win the regular season championship. Andre Stefan hasn't really tied it up yet, as we can still see Tim Kourting manage to get some more points to maybe bump Stefan out, or even Atlee for that matter. So lights are out on the pace truck and we're going to get going again. It has been a doozy of a race so far. Grand total of 10 cautions within the first 128 laps we've run. Chadwick gets off to a slow start here. Lap traffic actually running faster than him on the inside. Looks like he finally gets the momentum he needs to close the 44 truck behind him. A good thing seeing that green light. Still green. Hasn't turned yellow. Oh, and it's going to turn yellow. Maybe not. They didn't get sideways, but that's going to suck. The 55 was running second. Lap traffic, 3 wide scenario here. 55 gets clipped by Jack Ross, who has been a constant missile here tonight. We've seen that 00 make some aggressive attacks on other people. Everyone keeps going straight. It doesn't really slow up the field all that much. As you can see, even the pack behind them, they didn't get too bunched up. Lap traffic is just giving these leaders fits. Oh, and Jack Ross clipped the wall there. He has been a misguided missile here at Bristol. So with the kind of the calming after the storm there, looks like teammates Dalton Hayes and Tim Kourting kind of working together here in 2nd and 3rd. Then you've got Andrew Moger, which it's been highlighted pretty frequently that he's in a must-win situation for that team, switching from the East Coast, or rather switching over to the East Coast from the West Coast. Per the rules, when you make a switch between divisions, you have to qualify for the chase on a win and no longer are eligible to point your way in. Tim Kourting goes high there. Lap traffic, the 44, slowing these guys up on the pace. Now the 44 really blocking both lines of traffic there. Ryan Little, 26 laps down. Not sure what he's doing there. 65 of Osiel Escobar still the last truck on the lead lap in 18th. Jack Davis matching the truck number there, running 17th. Trevor Vaden in 16th. Colton Smith in 15th. GP Luxembourg in 14th. 13th, Jeffrey Gerald. 12th, Jordan Walker. Solid recovery for the 19 of Atlee Weiss, back up into 11th. Gavin Gray running 10th. Under attack by Atlee Weiss. Atlee very much with a top 10 in his control here. Amp Me Person running 9th. Zach Armstrong running 8th. Bradley Ream running 7th. Andre Stefan just doing what Andre Stefan does all year, running 6th here. That is tremendous for that team. He could very well be a huge threat for the championship that no one saw coming. James Reddick with a solid top 5 run here at Bristol. Dalton Hayes, Andrew Moger, Tim Kourting, and our leader Chadwick ahead of him. But Tim Kourting trying to close that gap back up. Chadwick looking like a sitting duck right now, turning 18.3 to the ever faster 17.8 of Tim Kourting. It's been a game of cat and mouse, and I think Chadwick, even though he has a cat on the hood, might end up being the mouse here tonight. Escobar about to go a lap down here. Chadwick has the oldest tires that are still running out there, I'd imagine. That's why we're seeing such a huge... Wow, that was crazy behind them. You could see the 79 of James Roberts slam into the wall. He's been doing that all night as well. Tim Kourting goes way below the apron. Wow, that was a bizarre move from the 50 truck. Looked like he struggled there a little bit. So Chadwick maintains his lead and grows the gap slightly. More lap traffic coming their way. Tim Kourting trying to execute the move here. Chadwick getting rubbed out of the way by the lap traffic. And it is Tim Kourting to the lead here, having worked his way all the way back through the traffic. Has fresher tires than the struggling Chaz Chadwick. Interesting one in the background there is the 74 of Andrew Moger, making it look interesting as well. So there's still a lot being contested for here in the closing laps. 50 laps to go. We've hit our 3/4 mark of the race. At this point, Chadwick's going to have to hope for some misfortune on the 50 team, as his pace is nowhere near close to keeping up with the 50 truck. Fresh tires are going to make a world of difference here. Lap traffic could make a huge difference factoring into this. As you can see, the 0 of Rosevich holding up Tim Kourting here. Tim not able to find a good opening to make the pass. Looks like he does so there. Chadwick's going to have to hope that he makes it quicker by the 0. He's got an opening already. And there he goes, make quick work of the 0. Chadwick's not out. Might be down, but he's not out. As lap traffic hovers very imminently in front of our leader. Tim Kourting could make a mistake here. He could get tangled up in a wreck. And Chadwick just needs to mind his P's and Q's. But to mind those P's and Q's, he's got to hold off the 74 of Andrew Moger, who is desperately hungry for a win here in the USA Trucks. Andre Stefan looks like he's going to continue his streak of dominance. 34 Maggie Reams kisses the wall there. Oh, and now we've got a 3-truck fight at the front here, as Tim Kourting even getting a hold up. Moger gets alongside Chadwick. Chadwick closes the door on him. That's probably the best move that Chadwick could have made to stay within the fight here, because he needs to stay low to get by this lap traffic. Things are really heating up here in the closing laps of this one. Lap traffic making it difficult for these leaders. Moger fighting side by side for second. In the meantime, Tim Kourting driving pretty much away from the crime scene behind him. That's going to put 15th truck a lap down, leaving us with only 14 on the lead lap. Moger now secures second. These guys getting by the lap traffic. 30 of Tasha Wright clips the wall there. Chadwick struggling with this lap traffic. He's getting on the apron, scrubbing off a lot of speed there. Looks like he's going to need somewhat of a miracle to get caught back up to this one. Tim Kourting stuck in the high side. This is not particularly good, as he gets pulled up there on the outside. This is a very unpleasant place to be for the 50 team, as Andrew Moger has now caught right up to the back bumper of him. This could be a big win here tonight for someone, surviving the chaos and confusion that has been the race here at Bristol tonight. And with all of that, looks like now Chadwick to the point. All of that really threw things out of sorts, as now even Andre Stefan, Moger gets shuffled way high, so Moger unfortunately made the wrong chess move there. Chadwick, on the other hand, comes out somewhat cleaner than the rest of the field. Oh, and they're wrecking. This will bring out a caution here. something was going to give. We were watching chaos unhinged there for the last several laps. Yep, caution it is. So this is where it gets interesting because Chadwick, we know, does not have the pace with his current tires. Would you, with 30 laps to go, give up position on track to go down pit road and get fresh tires? Or would you just hold on for what you got and try to get lucky with a potential mishap from the leader? There's only 13 trucks on the lead lap, so if you went down pit road, got fresh tires, you would only have to pass 12 trucks, and with fresh rubber, you obviously have faster pace. It doesn't seem like the crew chief wants to do anything of that sort for Chadwick as they stay out here. We'll go ahead and turn it down one pace lap so we can hopefully get back to green here sooner. Chadwick's going to stay out. Andre Stefan has slid his way up into the top 5, currently running 4th. Bradley Ream 5th. Ant Meeperson now up to 6th. Andrew Moger in 7th. And you've got James Reddick in 8th. Jordan Walker in 9th. And Atlee Weiss in 10th. Zach Armstrong solidly keeps continuing to do what he's been doing. Just the silent assassin in the 4 truck. 11th here tonight. Cannon Gage not too bad, even though 1 lap down, running in 18th. Osiel Escobar in 20th. Jeffrey Gerald, your last truck on the lead lap, in 13th. This could very well be one of the last restarts of the race here tonight. Tim Kourting back in the lead where he left off from the start. He had to make a show of it here, charging his way all the way back through the field to get back to the lead. But we know for a fact there's a couple drivers behind him that are, I think, a little bit more hangry for a win. Obviously, it ain't, gonna matter much if you don't have the pace to keep up with Tim Kourting, though. Chadwick struggling on the outside here to find the inside lane. He gets down low here and will be able to start running the preferred line around the track. The only good thing for Chadwick is if we get a Tim Kourting win, that could make things interesting for points scenarios in the last regular season race. We'll still have to see. I don't think Chadwick will even be anywhere in the ballpark, but there's always a possibility, and we'll have to see just what plays out. This time the 20 of Gavin Gray brings out the caution. Looks like he gets spun out by Jeffrey Gerald. 3 wide. Reactionary. The 20 tried to avoid making collision with the 79. Just overcorrected there into the 16. Andre Stefan comes down pit road. Does he get collected in the mayhem here? Oh, and that puts an end to the day for the 56 of Stefan, I imagine. From 4th place, he gets clipped by 2 trucks, flipped over, and that's your points leader right there. Tim Kourting at the lead of the field here. This could totally throw things out of the loop. So, oh, he's gonna, wow, he doesn't get much more than a lap down, it looks like. So there's something that Stefan's got figured out. That truck desperately wants to keep that top 10 streak alive. 20 laps to go here in the race. He might be 1 lap down after the tow truck pulled him on pit road. Still says that he's 13th. I think he's going to be about 13th, 1 lap down now. How in the world did they do that? They did not even lose a lap. They went from 4th, getting flipped over under caution, making some quick repairs to the tow truck after they towed it on pit road, and maintains his position on the lead lap in 13th. Talk about shithouse luck. That team better be buying some lotto tickets this season. Okay. Get rid of 1 pace lap and let us get back to racing here. Too many laps under caution here tonight. 61 laps under caution. We need to get some green flag running here. Try to get this one closed out. Tim Kourting leads the field to the green flag here on the restart. Chadwick, you can just tell that truck has not got the pace. The tires have wore out significantly on the 18 truck. He's just desperately holding on for what he can get here in the end. However, lap traffic kind of relaxes out here, allowing Chadwick to get into a groove. You got to start to figure the 50 truck, his tires are getting wore out as well. Tim Kourting puts down a 17.8. Chadwick nowhere near that with an 18.3. Oh, and there's another caution. And folks, just so you know, because of the short track's inability to use better cautions, there won't be a green-white checkered here tonight. I'm going to try every opportunity to get us a green flag finish. But that looked to be heinously on the 79 truck for... That's an instant DQ for the 79, who has been totally destroying the wall all night tonight. Taking out some decent contenders there with getting a good finish. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to try to get the field down to only those on the lead lap so that we can get a good finish going for y'all. Number 44 needs to be DQ'd. These folks aren't going to be able to make up much space on track with all the cautions anyways. Number 34. Since Jakov Rosevich is still within championship contention here, I'm going to leave him be in 19th. Andre Stefan back up into the top 10. I almost want to do... Well, I don't think Jakov is going to get any more spots, so we'll go ahead and DQ all the lap down traffic. That way we can have an uninterrupted finish. This just seems to be the way of short tracks anymore with our series. This should be the last restart of the race with 11 laps to go. Chadwick either has it or he doesn't. The pace of that 50 truck has been scary good here today at Bristol. Moger in 5th, James Reddick in 6th, Stefan in 7th, Bradley Ream 8th, Armstrong 9th, Weiss in 10th, Jeffrey Gerald in 11th, Jordan Walker 12th, and Gavin Gray 13th. But that gap continuing to grow at the front of the field as Chadwick just watches as any chase hopes start to walk away in the distance. Rest assured, he'll have one more opportunity in the regular season finale in a couple weeks' time. 8 laps to go here. He's going to have to find some... Wow, we have another caution. These guys just cannot seem to... The 19 of Atlee Weiss dumping the 4 truck, collecting both team owner and teammate between Zach Armstrong and Bradley Ream. Okay, we're going to try and make this a green-white checkered by eliminating pace laps here. Pace truck will be able to give these guys at least one attempt here at a 5-lap shootout. Lights are off on the pace truck. We're going to try and finish this one here. The 40 of Bradley Ream, unfortunately, it has to come down pit road as the green flag is going to re-wave here. This has been a very, very bizarre Bristol race. These folks in the trucks sure know how to put on a show. 5 laps to go here as Tim Kourting leads the way. Chaz Chadwick desperately hoping for a bobble from the 50 truck. Andrew Moger now up to 4th. 4 laps to go. Pace is just not there for that 18 truck as Tim Kourting continues to stretch out the lead. 3 laps to go this time by. Just hoping that it stays green and that we don't have another caution. These guys need the opportunity to race back to the finish here and get it under green conditions. Andrew Moger trying to get up to 3rd here, fighting with the 13 of Ant Me Person and the 55. of Dalton Hayes. It's looking like Tim Kourting was just too much for these guys to handle. Driving around for 2 laps to go here. That 50 truck holding a full head of steam at the front of the field. We've seen some crazy stuff happen. White flag waves. 1 more lap for the 50 team. 4 more turns. And off into turn 3 he goes. Coming out of turn 4 knowing that he's going to secure half the wins this season. Tim Kourting wins his 5th career win here on the summer circuit for the USA Trucks. Chadwick coming home 2nd. 3rd, Dalton Hayes. Solid run for him. Andrew Moger, Ant Meeperson, Jordan Walker, Andre Stefan keeping that top 10 streak alive. But with the win tonight from Tim Kourting, it's going to be interesting to see if the points actually kind of get shuffled here. But our trend stayed alive where we've seen Tim Kourting now wins races 6, 8, and 10 for a grand total of 5 races this season in only 10 starts. So he is a 50% win ratio here on the second half of the USA Truck season. That's just, that's astronomical right there. Ten races down, 1 race to go in the regular season. And Tim Kourting is going to have a huge buffer of points going into the chase. All these wins keep racking up. He looks to remain unbeatable here on the USA circuit. Zach Armstrong winds up with a top 10 finish, keeping his chase run very much alive. But ultimately, huge congratulations goes out to Tim Kourting for winning half the races this season already. 5 out of the 10 season, the first 10 races run this season for the summer USA Truck Circuit. There was a lot to unpack in this race. We saw basically a wreck fest in front of us. Although it was a wreck fest, a lot of the usual suspects at the front of the field. Tim Kourting, Atlee Weiss, Chaz Chadwick, Bradley Ream, Zach Armstrong, all those names that we've been seeing week in, week out, not to mention even Andre Stefan, have continued to prove why they are in it to win it here. So 1 more race and then we will have the true chase picture. But tonight I'm going to go ahead and get points tallied up and start coming up with scenarios as to who can point their way in and who's going to be in a must-win. I think we're going to end up seeing that Chaz Chadwick is going to be one of those drivers that needs a win in a couple weeks to make it into the chase. And that's going to be That's going to be highly publicized. It's going to be a big topic of debate for basically a regular season champion for the first 2 seasons of this series. He's already almost out of the talks of even fighting for the chase. So thanks for everyone tuning in. Glad you could make it. We got the West Coast racing tomorrow night. It's going to be a little different since Evergreen Speedway only has enough room for 35 trucks. So we will have a sprint qualifier that'll air earlier in the day to determine who makes up the last 5 spots. Top 30 in the points are locked in on the main event already. So hopefully y'all have a good night. Glad you can make it. Hopefully you can tune in tomorrow night for the Evergreen race. And this is Jakester signing out. Have a good one.